Israel has been trying to counter what it calls lies of starvation in Gaza, so the Israeli army took a group of journalists to the main crossing into the Gaza Strip, Kerem Shalom, to see what they said was the truth. We expected to see trucks loaded with aid going in, but instead all we saw were broken down, abandoned trucks in a desolate wasteland of barbed wire, starving dogs, and birds picking at trash. We were taken to a parking lot where abandoned aid sat rotting in the searing sun. This was the proof, said the IDF, that Israel is letting plenty of aid in, but the UN is not distributing it. But this was clearly what Israel wanted us and the world to see. Israel completely stopped all aid from entering Gaza for 2 months last spring and only began allowing more aid in after international outrage over images of starvation coming out of the enclave. The UN's World Food Program told us this parking lot is a repository for aid, and they typically try to keep 2 or 3 days of supplies here in case trucks can't even get into Gaza. Aid was left this summer because it became too dangerous to deliver it without a military escort. In recent days, videos of this same parking lot have surfaced online with influencers in videos denying their starvation.
The United Nations brings the food here to look like they're actually doing something productive, but they never finish the job, just like your ex.
Saying any lack of food in Gaza is the fault of the UN and Hamas. More trucks have been getting through since August, but the UN says Israel still has too many restrictions to entry, and the aid is a drop in the bucket of what's needed. Israel controls all the parameters of aid and has set up, with U.S. backing, a handful of its own controversial food distribution centers. Hundreds of Palestinians have been shot dead trying to get to them by Israeli troops. We found out these influencers were actually invited in by the Israeli Diaspora Ministry, a trip sponsored by an American evangelical group. Here they are posing with the evangelical U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Other videos put out by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs have surfaced recently. This one shows Gazans eating to their heart's content. We have no way of knowing when these scenes were filmed, but the video footage from NPR's producer in Gaza, Anas Baba, clearly shows another world where people risk their lives to get bags of flour. Recently, 2 senators were taken to the Kerem Shalom parking lot where we visited and given the same official Israeli message. They called it pure propaganda that does not reflect reality.